Welcome to my channel. I am GDP, and DH Games has finally released the upgraded crown and upgraded torch. Before we get started, I'd appreciate if you guys hit the like and subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm. I know this is a video that you guys have been really patiently been waiting for to figure out what my opinions are on upgraded torch and upgraded crown. But before we go ahead into those opinions, let's go ahead and read what these artifacts do. So for the Wildfire Torch, it gains Shielding Flame, which converts 80% damage at the Splendid version, damage from active skills of basic attacks into dots, each time receiving damage by 20% of the converted damage, lasting for 4 rounds. The converted dot won't be affected by any effects. Now, what does this mean? This means that any source of damage that you get from an enemy attack, active skill or basic attack, it's basically going to reduce that damage by 80%, so only take 20% of what you normally would, and then it's going to convert that 80% into a damage, and then basically divide that by 4 over 4 rounds, and you're going to take 20% ticks at the end of the round. So essentially what it means is you're going to be able to absorb a large active hit and convert it into a damage over time rather than just one single large burst, popping your Unbending Will or just killing you right away. And then you're going to have to manage somehow to heal through that damage so your hero doesn't die. What does this mean? This means that this artifact is going to be pretty good on a high HP hero in combination with a healer, or it's going to be really good on a hero that has high HP and also is able to sustain itself. But before I talk about it even more, let's go ahead and go into the crown. Golden Crown gets Deterrence of Majesty. When the battle starts, increase the hero 50% of all damage, which will decrease by 10%. Basically, this means once the round starts, you're going to have 50% all damage extra, and then in round 2, 40%, and then in round 3, 30%, and then round 4, 20%, and then in round 5, 10%, and then after round 5, you're going to have 0 extra all damage. Now, for the Splendid version of this, you're going to have a 35% bonus. I mean, not Splendid. Glittery version, you're going to have 20% all damage extra, reduced by 4% per round. And then for Radiant, you're going to have 35%. And then obviously for Splendid, you got 50%. For the Torch, it's going to be 40% damage absorption into dot. And then Radiant's going to be 60%, and then at Splendid, 80%. Now, when does this become useful? I think primarily only in the Splendid version. You might be able to use Radiant. I think 60% damage absorption might be enough to survive big actives from Russell or Garuda, but to be safe, the 80% at Splendid is going to be your best option, and that's what makes this artifact really good. I actually really like the new Torch. I think it is a fantastic artifact, and if you have 4 torches, go ahead, make it Splendid. It's 100% worth it, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. I also would like to point out that because Deterrence of Majesty says when the battle starts, this means that it's going to have the same kind of effect like a Rogan, where you don't gain your speed as a substitute if Rogan is a substitute, which means unfortunately I don't think Splendid Crown is going, or upgraded Crown is going to be really useful in the TOC when you have it on a substitute hero, which means if you're going to run this, you need to run your crown in your main lineup. Now let's go ahead and go into those battles. All right, so let's talk about Torch first. what heroes are going to be good with Torch. I originally was testing it out on my Ignis. I really do like Ignis with Torch. You're able to build her HP, or speed HP, or HP attack, heal effect, whatever it is. You just want to build her full HP with the Torch so she has a bunch of HP and she can just absorb those damages and then heal right back up. She's able to heal other heroes as well, while also giving damage reduce from her basic attack. And this means that you're going to be taking less active damage, which in turn means less dot damage from the Torch, which means less damage to heal through. So if you have an Ignis and you have a Splendid Torch and you're running some sort of sustained composition, or you just want to have a hero that can run Torch, go ahead, slap it on Ignis. It works really good. Just don't face any Amun-Ra's, because we all know what happens when you slap in an Ignis with an Amun-Ra. You just start killing yourself. But this hero right here, Ignis, is really, really, really good with the Torch. And then also another hero that is really good with Torch is Tank Garuda. Tank Garuda is with a Splendid Torch. Kind of acts like a Crown Garuda, but she won't get chunked down by enemy Garuda actives, and also won't be chunked down by enemy Russ actives. So as long as you're able to sustain yourself with the carry game and have your carries die and constantly heal her, you are going to be able to sustain that dot damage, and you're going to be able to reduce the actives from the incoming Russ, and you're going to be able to stay alive and win the match. She doesn't do a whole lot of damage herself, because I do have her built here with HP holy damage. I did go with a full HP build here with HP enables and also shelter. So if you are running Splendid Torch or any sort of version of Torch, you are going to want to grab Shelter. The reason being is it decreases your crit damage taken by 15%, which in turn means less dots that you're going to be taking and more way to sustain yourself. So in combination with Torch, you're going to want to run Shelter. I like it a lot, and just go high HP. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Crown real quick. Right now, I'm as you can see, I'm running I'm running 2 Garudas. That's what I've been testing with them. This also is really good on a Russell if you can. Basically, what you're going to use a Splendid Crown for will be basically to survive early round burst damage. So if you're facing a team, I don't know, like Barry's quadruple Russes or whatever it is, this extra all damage in the start of the rep match is going to be able to help you survive those actives. You're going to be able to survive any high burst. It's really good for early round damage, but once the big caveat with this artifact is once you get past round 5, you're not gonna benefit from this Deterrence of Majesty. So it's almost like what the heck is the point of running it then? Because it's like we're upgrading it because it's like now it's the same thing. So if you are able to survive that early rounds, it is worth it. But in my personal opinion, I mean, I know you guys are probably gonna hate me for this, but unless you have 6, 7, 8 golden crowns, personally, I don't think it's worth going to keep it. The reason being is in IDA, you're going to want to run multiple crowns on multiple heroes. So I don't think it's going to be worth it just a pure fact because of IDA. But if you are talking purely just CCL and that's all you care about is CCL, yeah, go ahead. You can upgrade it, condense your golden crowns. But if you want to push in IDA and have a chance in high IDA, it's not going to be worth condensing your crowns right now, unless, as I said, you have 6, 7, 8 of them, which I highly doubt anyone has 6 right now. I will be grabbing my 6 next week. So I am thinking about possibly just making one a glittery version. I haven't really decided on that yet. I am going to regress this Splendid Crown after this video. I only made it just for this video, just to show you guys. the power of this artifact and what it can do, but I just don't think it's worth it. So after those discussions of a little bit, let's go ahead and go into some battles. So, what am I running these artifacts for? Well, this guy right here, Stella, he has Splendid AMB Russell, Splendid AMB Russell, Demon Bell Russell, Rui Arctic Carry, Rui Carry, and then I believe that is a Crown Rogan. It's a very strong team, but you know what? It gets absolutely destroyed by Splendid Crown and Splendid Torch. I have Splendid Crown onto the one Garuda. I have a Splendid Torch on the other Garuda. And then I also have Splendid A and B onto my Sherlock with the full attack build to get those -1 pings from the Russell Light Arrows. And then I have 3 speed carries just to die and revive my Garudas. Now, you guys might be thinking, GDP, this is pre-anniversary heroes. Are we back in pre-anniversary meta? Sadly, I think that might be true. With the new Torch, I don't even need to have, honestly, I don't even need to have Golden Crown on the other Garuda. I can run 4 carries with a Splendid A and B on this Sherlock and a Splendid Torch on my one Garuda, and it is actually just destroying this team. It destroys everyone on my server. I think if you have the right artifacts, we are probably going to be moving back into a pre-anniversary meta. Like, what is going on? Like, this Torch is just too good against Russells. You have A and B, Splendid A and B, which is just really good at managing Russells. Like, look at that. You got -1, -1, -1, -1. And then you just got my Garudas here just sustaining away. The Russells can't do anything with their actives. They're not able to kill my Garudas because I got, well, one's a Splendid Crown, so it's not going to take, like, any damage because it's got, like, near 80-90% damage reduce. And then I got a Garuda here with a Splendid Crown who takes 80% less damage off of actives. So as you can see, it's doing really good against Stella. When I was running A and B Russells against Stella, I was getting more of like a 60 to 65% win rate. But with this Torch on Garuda, it just becomes insane. This right here, this team is a quad carry team with Splendid A and B onto the Sherlock and a Splendid Torch on the Garuda. So yeah, look at that. That Russell right there barely tickled that Garuda right there. So yeah, that's my kind of thoughts. Splendid Torch is really, really, really good. It's probably into the top tiers for one of the best PvP artifacts. Everyone could be happy for that because we did not have uses for torches beforehand unless you wanted to just like counter a Mim Cheese or use it in your Aspen Dungeon on like a Unimax. But now, if you have torches and you have them just laying around, go ahead and upgrade them, slap them on a Garuda, slap them on Ignis. You might be able to slap it on like an HP build Ada. I haven't tested that out, but you might be able to do that. You could probably slap it on Augustin. You could probably slap it on an Olivia. Any hero that's going to be able to have some sort of sustain and high HP, you're going to be able to slap it on. So, yeah. I think we're in this right here. This team kind of just shows that pre-anniversary meta is back and alive. These Russells can't do anything against this Garuda. It's the actives don't pop her unbending will. She builds up enough damage reduce from the carry from the teams to not take a whole bunch of light arrow damage. And yeah, damage reports really don't show it. Like, look at this. If you saw this, just saw it, you would think the right team won, but no, the left team won. It's absolutely insane the amount of damage mitigation Torch brings for a high HP hero, and if you can sustain it, it's really good. Splendid Crown. Once again, I want to finish off saying it is a really, 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 really good artifact. I will say that, but is it worth it though? If you have 1, 2, 3, 4 crowns, even in my case 5 crowns, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth, especially if you're focusing on IDA and pushing an IDA, it's not going to be worth sacrificing your crowns and condensing them. Just go ahead, wait until you get more crowns. I know it's expensive, but if you, unless you don't care about IDA, go ahead. But if you care about IDA, it's not going to be worth condensing your crowns. I will be, however, making, as I said earlier, making a glittery crown next week once I get my 7th or my 6th crown. And that because I already don't really have any use for a 6th crown right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and convert it and go into a glittery crown. So yeah. That's my final opinions. Torch, fantastic. Crown, fantastic. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video.